Board Chair Shot reality here at Point Park University in downtown Pittsburgh. I'm Justin LeBar. On the end, Drew Springsteen. And making her CSR debut, we got royalty. We have Hollywood royalty. She is independent wrestler Katie Arquette.
The queen of the silver screen.
The queen of the silver screen.
Wait, like Arquette? Like David Arquette?
Yes.
Like, can you get him to sign this for me?
I mean, I might be able to.
Okay.
This is great. This is great right here.
You actually brought.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
What?
He actually owns.
Yeah.
You actually own this? Ready to Rumble?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's a soundtrack. Yeah. Why not?
The soundtrack.
It's great.
Parental advisory sticker.
Yeah, it's some crazy stuff
Oh
on there.
my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I mean, well, we'll keep it here just in case you want to take it later.
All right, Queen of the
back to her.
Queen of the silver screen here with us. All right, let's talk about some matters of the female division, the ladies division in WWE. A lot happened this past week. They made history, of course, the first ever women's Royal Rumble. It was 30 ladies. It was over the top rope, same rules as the men. We saw a lot of legends, a lot of flashbacks come back, which we expected to fill the 30. Katie, I'll start with you. What was, as a female wrestler yourself, what was your reaction to this match?
I was very pleased with the women's Royal Rumble, especially since it was the first ever, and that it was main event. That's what I was kind of concerned about, but also very excited about, because the men, like, they always push and they strive and they go all the way. But I was very pleased that the women actually exceeded that. And
that was certainly that let everybody, if anybody had any doubt already when that show started, are they going to take this seriously? That cemented when at 7:45 Eastern time, the men's match was
very early, and everybody was like, I can't believe this is going to go on last, and I was hoping that it was going to go smooth, and I think it delivered. It was probably the best, well, I guess how the men's Rumble was the best match of the night.
I'm glad they didn't put the 2 Rumble matches back to back.
Oh no, that would have killed everything.
It would have been way too much, like going through, like, it's always fun, like, oh, who's next, but 30 and then do another 30. I liked how they separated it.
If you notice, the fans, the next match was at the Raw tag title
It was the
match.
tag,
They were dead. The crowd they couldn't do anything.
Rumble match was exhausting for everybody.
Yeah, so I'm glad they spread it out, and then they were pretty excited for the main event. So
we saw, again, it was a lot more returns, one-night returns, than there was tapping into the NXT well, or even pulling girls from the independent scene that have worked the Mae Young Classic. Are you guys okay with that, or do you think in the future they're going to need to do that? Because you can only bring the Tori Wilsons back.
How different is it going to be next year? Because obviously it was successful, and they made it main event, and it's a big deal. But you can't have the same 30 next year, right? So where do you go from here? How many other legends can you pull? And
where's Bull Nakano?
That's what I'm saying. You're going to really have to start tapping in, but I'm glad that there's a lot of talent now, and an NXT coming up for Performance Center. I think that'll be fine.
All right, so Asuka wins. Now, I say this over and over. Yes, it was predictable, but in pro wrestling, it's okay to be predictable if it's logical, and that's my thought here. Asuka wins it. I thought it was a nice way they ended it with her and Nikki Bella. Not only the creativity of them being outside on the apron for the elimination, but also I think for Nikki Bella's safety. I don't think with Nikki's past injury that going over the top into the floor is a good risk. So Asuka winning, we're all okay with, right? There's no debate to that.
Yeah.
No, I'm happy with it.
She's undefeated. There's no reason for her to lose that.
I think it makes sense, even though, like you said, it was predictable. It makes sense because she is undefeated.
Right. So yeah, why?
Survivor Series, win the Rumble. At least go to this first Mania and see what happens, and then if you want to make her lose at some point,
but if she goes to Mania and loses, I won't think that's a.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It depends on how it is,
it's
but I won't
think at least it's WrestleMania.
If you're gonna lose, what a place to lose.
WrestleMania. Yeah, it's the biggest show. Why not?
What town did you suffer your first loss in?
Oh, a bunch, a bunch starting out.
Probably not as majestic as New Orleans.
No.
You gotta get there.
Get there. Asuka wins. I'm gonna ask you guys the same question I just asked Josh Eisenberg last segment. In 10 years from now, are you going to remember that Asuka won the first Rumble, or are you going to remember, oh, that was where Rousey shows up? What's going to stick in your mind?
I think I'm going to remember that Asuka won, but it was a little bit overshadowed by Rousey because it's a big deal that Asuka won, and I think that's. I mean, people are talking about Rousey, but I think in the grand scheme of things, everybody's going to remember that first one. Like, people still remember Jim Duggan, even though that meant nothing.
That's true.
So I think for the future, but Rousey definitely made a big imprint on the whole night.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think it'll definitely be Asuka won the very first, but Ronda, not that she stole some of her shine, but at the same time, she definitely made an impression that people aren't going to forget. Is she going to be at WrestleMania, or is this her starting career at Raw or SmackDown or just WWE in general?
A lot of questions. That brings us to the final point of this this segment is Ronda Rousey's WrestleMania match. We assume that's where the first match is going to be, is WrestleMania. It would be illogical for it to be anywhere else. I'm of the belief that it has to be a mixed tag. Now she's been, Triple H said this on the conference call he did with us last week, that despite what many of us think, that she actually has done pro wrestling training off and on over the recent years.
And just because we don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Right. And then she's obviously really been doing it in earnest and commitment in the past, I guess, 6 months. I don't think she's going to be a flop. I think that she's an athlete anyways. I think she'll be fine as she gets more repetition. Repetition is huge. You can't prepare to perform in front of a live audience until you do it. No matter how many simulated matches she does at the Performance Center, it will not equal 80,000 in the Superdome. So for that reason, put her in a mixed tag so she is protected and she doesn't have to do half the work.
I agree. You can have her do as many non-televised, no one's watching matches at the PC. And I think what they're going to do is they're going to call back to Mania 31, and it's going to be her and The Rock versus Triple H and Stephanie.
Ooh.
That's the one everybody wants.
I think
I can't.
It's all about The Rock.
That's a good thought, yeah, because that was her first official debut. She's already been to WrestleMania. This would be her second time.
It would be huge box office marquee, but we have not seen The Rock wrestle.
I heard it's something with like his insurance.
Right. I was going to say,
if that goes through, I don't see why that can't happen.
Well, and I might be wrong. Been wrong many times. I don't think The Rock has wrestled in. The last time he wrestled was at a WrestleMania. He had gotten injured. He suffered an injury, which actually I think affected him doing a publicity tour for whatever movie he was doing. And I think that's been the problem, is now these movie studios are paying him $20 million to do a movie. They got Dwayne Johnson. They don't want him going out here and bumping and getting hurt. So I don't know if we're going to see The Rock, although he's the best fit for the situation. That's why I keep saying you got to find another big name that's worthy, whether it's John Cena, because we don't know what he's doing yet, whether it's Randy Orton, whether it's Braun Strowman. You got to find another powerhouse name to be with
And
Ronda.
It was interesting that you said that he was hurt in that match at Mania 29, because he had wrestled Elimination Chamber and Royal Rumble before that.
Correct.
So even without any,
That was the last time. I'm right. That's the last time
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he got injured at that match at 29. I forget what it was, but he suffered some injury.
So it's been 5 years.
Right. I mean, he hasn't wrestled, and I'm sure they probably called and wanted to have him wrestle in the last 5 years. I'm sure it's came up. And obviously something's saying no. Somebody in Hollywood's telling him, you're going to go make $1 million off this one match, you're going to make $20 million off this movie.
I think if the price is right, which they have unlimited money at WWE, I think that they'll do it.
I don't know. $100 million is going to the XFL. So.
Yeah, you're right. I'm excited for that, too.
We got more to come. Juice and I are going to get on some of the other hot topics around the world of pro wrestling, and of course we're also going to talk about Braun Strowman and Rusev Day. What is more over? We got plenty more on this playlist for you to binge watch. It is CSR on Wrestling Inc.